As school supplies are appearing in stores, Minnesotans await a clear picture of what school will look like this fall. I spoke with the ranking DFL member of the Senate Education Committee, Senator Chuck Weger. Governor Walz is expected to announce very soon how Minnesota schools will operate this fall. My own kids' schools have been planning for both, in person, a hybrid model, and staying at home. Those are the three options that have been laid out. What are you hearing, and what do you think makes the most sense?
I'm hearing a great deal on this issue. People want, and that includes students, parents, staff, they want to return to school. However, it must be done safely and responsibly. And that's the issue in Minnesota and throughout America, in fact, the planet. And so we need to look at what public health is telling us regarding the risk factor that could be posed for students, for staff, for parents and the community. So there needs to be a partnership. And that's why the Department of Education asked all the school districts and the charters to come up with a plan that looked at these three options of going back to school full-time, or perhaps a hybrid of being there part of the time or stay at home. I would predict, as we continue to look at the information, that it's going to be a combination of these. Remember, we are still in the early phases of the pandemic. Each day, new information is coming out in terms of infection breakout, potential remedies that we can do locally, what's being done. So the bottom line is we need to look at the public health impact. We want to get back to school. That's very important. I assure you, my grandkids, my kids want that as much. And at the same time, it must be done responsibly and basing that on public health data, not politics.
Well, and often state legislators do encourage school districts to act independently. So should the decision, along with, health guidance and everything else, be left to the local school districts to decide? Because, what may not work in St. Paul could very well work in a smaller community in, a further flung area of the state.
The decision should be primarily with the locally elected school board. I served on the school board for nearly 20 years prior to going to the Senate, and I appreciate that they are closest, the elected officials, to their constituents. That said, there needs to continue to be a close partnership with the Department of Education and with public health in terms of what is the infection rate in the community. The local school boards understand this as well. And I support them making the decision that will serve the best interest in terms of the options of distance learning, in-person learning, or a hybrid. And let them decide, but let's have benchmarks, let's have guidance from the department so it can be an enlightened decision. And this partnership is working right now. There's been over 100,000 people that have been surveyed for input from the department, local school districts, charters, others are getting this input now. And we'll need to continue to have this dialogue. But ultimately, it's conditions, different parts of the state are different, and I would put trust in what the locally elected officials would ultimately do. But working in partnership, which they do with the public health agencies and the department.
Now, I want to get to the funding implications of this in a moment, but before we do, Minnesota has wide educational disparities based on, the outcomes for students of color and poor students versus, more affluent white students. And it has been said that the disparities are exacerbated by the pandemic. Do you agree that it's exacerbated, and can anything be done in the short term to kind of alleviate the differences, to ensure that kids with fewer resources, if they must learn at home, get equal educational opportunities?
Absolutely, there's a disparity in educational opportunity. The evidence is clear, not only in Minnesota, but throughout America, that this has shined light very brightly on the disparity. on technology, the internet access. For those that did not have a Chromebook or internet or a sufficient internet connection with sufficient strength, it's been very disillusioning. And we have found that in particular groups, primarily if you're in poverty, that you are much more at risk. And that has been a huge shortcoming in the technology area. We're working on it. There's been millions of dollars from the federal government, the state government. There's been, information that's been provided into the homes with Chromebooks delivered, et cetera, to address this. Most recent regular session, additional money came, but more be done. That's one area of the disparity in terms of the technology and learning opportunity. Another is just in healthcare. Our schools provide, this is pre-COVID, a number of resources for students, whether it's the counselors, the school nurse, the chemical dependency counselors, the social workers, the psychologists, and this is a part of the school team. In distance learning, this connection has not happened. Some of it virtual, but the face-to-face has not been there in person. And so this has exacerbated the situation as well. And then finally, I just want to mention too, food security. A number of students, particularly in poverty, they get their breakfast, they get their lunch. In fact, sometimes there's even something that goes in the backpack when they go home. And I know a number of teachers and others that help pack these back for students, but the food security issue has only become worse because of this. So yes, it has.
We only have 30 seconds left, but will schools need more money regardless of how they adjust to education in the pandemic? Will they need more funding to accommodate?
Yes, they will. Schools have been scrubbed down, but they're going to need a lot of that in the future as we look at rolling out the hybrid model and distance learning. And there'll be a combination, but they're going to just cleaning supplies, personal protection equipment is essential. For school buses, we're not going to have them packed with 72 students or whatever. You're going to need to clean them. You're going to need resources for additional staff. Over 1/3 of our employees are probably 50 or over, and issues in terms of their own being at risk. So, and pre-COVID, we had a shortage of bus drivers, of special ed teachers, and a number of others. So more funds are needed. I am putting my faith that Congress is going to rise to this responsibility, and together we will get through this. But let's avoid the politics. Let's look at the public health, what's best interest of students, and we will get through this.
Senator Uyghur, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shannon.